Codified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell at any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
It's not a long way from Oxnard, California to Las Vegas, Nevada. Fernando Vargas did not fly into Vegas for the biggest assignment of his boxing life, but rather rolled in his new 30-foot customized SUV. It's basically a rolling disco. And with an eye toward enhancing his already stylized image, Vargas now presents yet another dramatically produced ring entrance.
Now, this is supposed to be a Mayan temple, Aztec warriors. It looks like the famous march in the opera Aida being set up here.
First knockdown of the evening. Down comes the wall.
You know, Fernando Vargas was born, raised, educated, trained in Oxnard, California, fought for the U.S. in the Olympics, but he feels very powerfully about his heritage as a Mexican. That's why he chose the Mexican national anthem. That's why he chose this entrance.
Quite a night for all things Latin American. Viva Mexico, soon to be followed by Viva Puerto Rico. And in the background you may hear the Trinidad following trying to drown all this out with their chant of Tito, Tito, Tito. The Vargas followers come back with volume of their own.
Fans who tend to come from a long way away, Jim, usually cheer louder than those who come from close by.
But Oxnard has been a loud boxing city ever since the emergence of this young man. Just imagine the historic threshold that Vargas can cross tonight. By tomorrow morning, he could be one of the 2 or 3 biggest superstars in the sport without yet having celebrated his 23rd birthday.
This is like a guy who hits a home run and walks around the bases. He's in no rush to get in the ring yet.
Youngest ever amateur world champion. Youngest member of the 1996 American Olympic team, one of the youngest professional champions ever. 20 fights, 20 wins, 18 knockouts, decisions against Winky Wright in his toughest battle and his weakest moment, Ike Quartey in his most brilliant performance, and KOs against all the other opponents. Fernando Vargas is in the ring. chant of Tito, Tito builds in earnest as the Puerto Rican contingent waits for their superstar to emerge.
After all these years and all these fights, Jim, I still occasionally get chills at this walk-in, which is so distinctive to prize fighting. It's almost medieval, the way these warriors come to the ring to face each other naked.
Well, I think aside from the last 30 minutes before the Kentucky Derby and the last 30 minutes before the Indianapolis 500, there is no pageantry like the pageantry you'll see at every championship fight. And tonight is something special.
One thing I've noticed, Jim, all week long doing interviews and so on, Trinidad his face is almost opaque, almost completely expressionless. All of a sudden, here he is, animated, smiling. He's like a musician ready to perform at Carnegie Hall.
George Foreman, you've made this walk. Do moments like this bring back intense memories for you?
Yeah, it's the kind of moments, though, that you just can't catch up with. It happens so quick that if you think about it, you're in the ring and out of it before you can even realize it happened. So it's not something that can happen to you now on the way up to the ring at all. It's too quick. Lifetime happening too quick.
What kinds of things do you try to focus on as you walk in?
Well, you really did turn into the entertainer because it's such a long walk. There's music, and this is your moment of entertainment where you really want to put on a show. It could be laughing, smiling, or real mean. This is that moment.
And the record for Felix Tito Trinidad, well known to most boxing followers. 38 wins, no losses, no draws, 31 spectacular knockouts for Tito. And now let's go to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the spectacular Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, as it's time for the much-anticipated featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions and Main Events in association with the Mandalay Bay, TVKO, and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout coming your way is sanctioned by the following organizations: the World Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor Gilberto Mendoza Jr., the International Boxing Federation President Hiawatha Knight, Supervisor Mahassan Scott, and the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Dr. Elias Ghanem, Commissioners Amy Ayub, Glenn Carano, Dr. Flip Pomansky, and Dr. Luther Mack. The Executive Director is Mark Ratner. Introducing to you our judges, scoring this bout from ringside, from Johannesburg, South Africa, Stanley Christodoulou. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Dwayne Ford. And from Kent, Washington, Glenn Hamada. And the referee in charge of this bout, working in this his 31st world title bout, Jay Nady. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA and IBF 154-pound Unification Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's time for the bout you've all been waiting for. Live from the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first on my right, he is fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing green trunks with black trim, hailing from and proudly representing Coupe Alto, Puerto Rico. He weighed in at the limit of 154 pounds even. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with 38 wins, no losses, 31 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he is making his 19th appearance in a world title bout. Here is the explosive two-time world champion, the current undefeated WBA Super Welterweight champion of the world, introducing Felix Trinidad. And his opponent across the ring, ready to fight on my left in the blue corner. He is wearing white trunks with red and green trim. He proudly represents his hometown of Oxnard, California. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 154 pounds. He also is undefeated at 20 wins, no losses, with 18 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making the 6th defense of his title. Please welcome the hard-hitting, undefeated IBF junior middleweight champion of the world, introducing ferocious Fernando. Once again, a referee in charge, Jay Nady, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of championship boxing scheduled.
Any questions? 12 rounds. Obey my commands.
I don't know.
Let's go to work. That's enough. Let's go.
Those picking Trinidad are going with the logic of a sensational performer with an impeccable record. Those picking Vargas are going with a gut feeling about his toughness. A young man with the look of a champion. Your head or your gut? Which one is right?
Trinidad can only go to the well so many times. Getting knocked down early is just, you can't just get up all the time. He better protect himself.
6 different times in his career, Trinidad has been down in the early rounds. All 6 times he got up to win. Vargas lands a left jab against an off-balance Trinidad to start off the action. The younger fighter stepping out to jab. Go ahead, George.
That's what you want to do. You got to show Trinidad, first of all, I'm not afraid of you. Then you got to back it up, though.
Big left hook by Trinidad, and Vargas is stunned. Vargas is stunned and down.
And you know how stunned he is? Because he didn't take the full count. He got up too quickly.
That's
sensational left hook.
Trinidad can't go to the well. He's not playing around now.
Second knockdown for Trinidad. He's the one who said it would be a quick, dominant knockout performance. This is not what any expert expected.
Okay.
But this is what Felix said he'd do. No 3 knockdown rule in effect. Vargas attempts to grab and hold, then backs away again. Manages to duck a couple of punches, seemingly getting his legs back under him now.
He was not prepared early for the quickness of Vargas's hands.
Of Trinidad's hands.
Sorry, Trinidad's hands.
Vargas is starting to stand and fight flat-footed. That's not what I expected of him.
All the talk about how Trinidad goes down early, and suddenly Vargas is down twice in the first minute and a half of the fight. So now the younger fighter trying to regain his senses and get out of the first round.
He's showing real composure and poise in a crisis situation here, George.
This is the first one he's been in, and you didn't want it to be the first time he'd run into some adversity.
Vargas kind of pushes Trinidad away with the left to the body. Trinidad looking and looking, trying to find an opportunity to land one more big left hook.
Trinidad normally the best finisher in his weight class. He didn't finish Vargas off, and I don't know why.
Well, he's usually finishing off a fighter whom he's punished to the body for 7 or 8 rounds. This is an unusual situation.
Now he got hurt by a right hand. Vargas chopped him on the side of the head with a good right hand.
Trinidad looking very sharp with his punches in the first round. Vargas just missing with another straight right cross, and now Fernando definitely has his legs back.
He better use those legs. You don't want to stand in front of a puncher like that.
He's going to make it out of round one, but what a perilous round one it was for the young star from Oxnard, Felix Trinidad, with an early 2 knockdown statement.
And Vargas goes to a neutral corner, not to his own corner after that round.
It's a wonder he can go anywhere.
That was some gutty performance by Vargas.
Larry, a look at the knockdowns.
Stunned early in the fight. He has never been down as a professional prize fighter. Never been in the ring with somebody as deadly and quick as Tito Trinidad. And Trinidad did everything he could to finish it right then and there. Give Vargas credit for showing some stability and maturity in a situation he had never experienced before.
Big left hooks doing the damage for Trinidad in round one. Vargas came back and managed to land 14 punches in the round despite being down twice. And now Vargas tries to rake Trinidad with a right hand. George pointed out that a chopping right by Vargas in the last minute of round one caught Trinidad flush on the cheek.
Trinidad now is using some good experience. He was able to slip the left by Vargas and come up with a left hook that first knockdown. That's experience. That's bobbing, that's weaving.
Trinidad looking quicker, stronger, and better balanced than ever in the first 2 rounds of a fight.
This is the first time I've seen him show some aggression early on like this.
Well, they told us for years that he's having so much trouble making 147 pounds that it damaged him going into fights. At 154, he has indeed looked more comfortable on his feet.
Vargas is not backing up like you would expect him to do at this point. He stands in the middle of the ring, tries to get an aim, and then back away.
Well, that was one of the big questions that hung over the fight. Would Vargas trade with Trinidad? And almost everybody felt that would be a mistake that the young fighter probably wouldn't make.
He has Trinidad going in a circle away from him.
Right hand lands for Trinidad.
Trinidad is mixing it up, uses the jab down to the stomach, then back to the head. He's actually boxing Vargas.
Vargas with a left to the body. Left hook to the body is a major weapon for both fighters, and if the fight goes some rounds, you wonder who will get that weapon going with regularity.
It's going to take a couple of rounds if it goes there for Vargas to get his balance back.
Another left hand lands flush for Trinidad, and Vargas is stunned again. Vargas having trouble handling Trinidad's power.
But he naturally gets out of the way of those punches. How he does it, you don't know.
Right hand lands for Trinidad. Vargas pops back with a left. But Vargas still looks unsteady whenever Trinidad lands upstairs.
Trinidad's got power, and you don't want to be in exchange with a guy with that kind of power. And that's what Vargas is doing, making the mistake of punching with a very good puncher.
Yeah, but George, he's having no success standing outside because of the quickness of Trinidad, so he has to try to get inside his range a little bit.
No. He needs to stay away for a couple of rounds and get his legs back under him. That's what he should be doing.
There was a brutal body shot by Trinidad that set up this assault, but Vargas is able to duck and slip and avoid most of the punches.
The good thing about this marathon runner is that he's sprinting too early. Trinidad.
Big right hand by Vargas. Catches Trinidad's attention. Felix comes straight forward. Now Vargas spins Trinidad after a left hook missed.
And this is one of the first times you've seen Trinidad try to sprint early like this.
Trinidad holding on to Vargas's right arm as Vargas whacked away with the left. Best rally of the fight for Fernando to punctuate round 2. And the young Mexican-American fighter flashes a smile as he goes back to his corner.
Un poquito cortado, Tito. No te desesperes, Tito. Pelea de nosotros, ¿está bien?
Don't get over anxious. It's our fight.
¿Cómo te sientes?
Everything is fine.
Tranquilo, estamos tranquilos.
Tranquilo. It's easy. Just take it easy. We gotta be calm. The fight is ours. The fight is in our favor. You don't have to do too much.
Tito, cuando él se va a buscar la forma de open.
Here's another look, Larry, at the jab by Trinidad that seemed to wobble Vargas.
Well, he called him a baby, and so far he's done everything except diaper and powder him. But late in the round, the baby started to yowl.
There's a little blood on the side of Trinidad's, the right side of Trinidad's eye, so that baby can scratch.
We're off to some start. It could have been a first-round knockout, but now Vargas has a chance to write a fascinating script.
Trinidad stands on the ball of his right foot like a track star ready to take off. A track runner, on your mark, get set. You don't want to be in front of a guy like that. He's in position to reel a right hand off on you. You want to get him back on his heel so he's off balance.
Vargas stops the Trinidad left with a left of his own. Trinidad with a long right hand that wobbles Vargas back again.
Like I said, you can't stand in the front of a guy when he's standing on the ball of his right foot like that. He's ready to take off on you and go.
Some of us really expected Vargas to be at angles and not right in front of Trinidad like this. It looks as though, after having gone down twice in the first round, Vargas is anxious to step back and make a statement of his own. He may have been gulled into fighting the wrong
Once a guy knocks you down like that, you just got to get up and fight him. Otherwise, you're going to be running all night. And that's what Vargas, he's taking the chance, but he's doing as much. He's got Trinidad boxing.
And there's a big left hook upstairs by Vargas, which momentarily halts Trinidad. But Felix is relentless. He keeps coming and keeps firing hard with both hands.
As I said earlier, with Vargas, he's naturally off balance for Trinidad. You have him in, he jabs to the body, which is good for Trinidad.
Can set up some of the later stuff upstairs.
Vargas is going to have to throw that right hand before he hooks Trinidad, because you don't want to be hooking with a good left hooker like that.
Now Vargas lands a jab and a straight right hand. Misses with a right hand there. Vargas beginning to put punches together in combination. But Fernando is not yet elusive. He's in front of Trinidad, and he's been taking too many punches.
Oh, good right hand by Vargas. Right on the chin.
Perfect shot.
But he's standing still again with a guy on the ball of his right foot.
And he takes a left hand as a result of it.
You don't want to throw, you want to throw your right hand before you throw your left.
Wrong with Trinidad's right eye.
And now Vargas sees a chance and bangs away with the left, while Trinidad holds on to his right. Hard right hand by Trinidad.
Got into the right eye of Trinidad. Apparently he's clear now.
Two more chopping right hands by Trinidad landed there. Not having the same effect on Vargas, though, that they did in the first round. The young fighter seems to have gotten his feet under him. He takes a low blow, and referee Jay Nady is going to give him a chance to recover. And if I'm Fernando Vargas, I would use all 5 minutes.
There you go. Vargas has done a good job. If you want to tell a young man,
For 5 minutes.
or hire a young man in your office, this is the way you want to tell them young people can do. They can take care of a job.
Now Trinidad's had so much momentum in these first 3 rounds. Vargas has a chance now to at least interrupt that momentum. Here's a look at the low blow.
Oh, that's right there on the kind of the side of the hip. That hurts.
That was a serious low blow. And a real mistake in terms of the tide of the fight, in terms of giving an opponent who was dazed earlier a chance to fully recover.
Over across the ring, Vargas's promoters, Kathy Duva and Gary Shaw of Main Events, are standing up and holding up 5 fingers apiece. They're saying to Fernando, use all 5 minutes.
Can you imagine a woman now giving instructions?
Hey, Kathy knows the sport as well as anybody. She holds up 5 fingers again. Trinidad's looking over at his dad. Kathy Duva, standing across the ring, keeps motioning Vargas back into the corner. Now Fernando wants to come out and fight.
I really think it was Vargas who had the momentum going before the stop.
3rd round comes to a close, and trash talk from Vargas to Trinidad. There is Olivia Chavez, mother of Fernando Vargas, and right now, a nervous woman.
Puse los uppers, Fernando, cuando se fajan. Puse uppers. Fuertes por dentro.
You gotta use those uppers. Come inside. Be lively. Be alert. And do some boxing. Uppers.
Los golpes de él son puros curvos.
He's only throwing you one punches. You got a bobber move.
Hay que tirar uppers nosotros,
Cuidado con la plancha.
Okay, put that icing on me.
Pelea dentro del... Óyeme.
Fight.
Larry Merchant.
Well, in the corner, Tito got a slap in the face from his father, but you could see there that jab got into the eye, but Trinidad appears to be all right, and Vargas appears to be working himself into the fight.
And George Foreman CompuBox numbers agree with you that Vargas had the momentum before the interruption. He landed 23 punches out of 57 to 19 out of 29 for Trinidad in round number 3. Harold, how'd you score the first 3 rounds?
Okay, Jim, 29-26, 2 rounds to 1, Tito Trinidad. You gotta give him 2 extra points, and down goes Tito on a big left hook.
Well, Harold, whatever the score of the fight was before, it just changed.
Here comes Trinidad to try to follow up. Check it, Vargas to try to follow up.
Well, Vargas has said that if he got Trinidad in trouble, he wasn't going to let him off the hook. He got another low blow.
Second foul of the fight for Trinidad, and we'll see if Nady will take a point away. A point deduction could be critical, and it is.
And right now, Jim, it's a 3-point round for Vargas, which equalizes the 3-point round that Trinidad got in the first round.
You got all you want.
Did somebody say it was going to be a great fight?
Well, I don't think you can order great fights from a catalog, but this one we may have.
Let's take a look at the low blow. George, tell me how much this hurts the fighter.
No, he's been hit low already, so it's already tender around the body. It's going to hurt him a lot, and it's going to affect his stomach also, so he's going to be in trouble for the rest of the fight.
Will it limit performance the rest of the fight?
It's going to limit a lot of movements now because it's hurt. He's planted the punches.
Should he retaliate, George?
No, not at all. You don't want to do that. If you believe you can win, stay fair.
All right, this time Fernando Vargas is not getting the 5-minute call from Gary Shaw and Kathy Duba across the ring because they're cognizant of the fact that Fernando was on the upswing and had knocked Trinidad down prior to this low blow interruption.
Well, what do we have? 3.5 rounds. We've had 3 knockdowns.
Two major fouls.
As far as I'm concerned, they can fight 25 rounds.
Vargas got to be careful with the swelling. Trinidad corner has always done a good job of keeping his swelling down.
All right, Fernando's ready to fight again. So here they come. Round 4 continues. Big left to the body by Trinidad. Vargas was reaching for an uppercut.
Vargas' corner told him to go with the uppercut, but you just can't bring it all the way up. You got to bring it to him. That's the uppercut.
You can't force the uppercut. You've got to make the opponent come to you.
I still think that Trinidad is having a little trouble with his right eye.
I think it's a little swollen. I think you're right on the money there, Larry. And I think Trinidad benefited from the delay for the low blow.
He's got to jab and make Trinidad bend down and then throw the uppercut. You got to make him go down. Don't just throw the uppercut while he's in the heights.
The punch which has done damage for both fighters is the left hook. Trinidad knocked Vargas down on 2 big left hooks in the first round. Vargas retaliated here with a left hook of his own. There's a straight right hand for Fernando. Felix backing straight up, takes another left hook.
Vargas should stay on Trinidad's right side. Stay on that right side. Trinidad is doing good with his left hook, but the right hand is hesitant because he needs to keep it up to protect his eye. So Vargas does well if he stays right on Trinidad's right side.
It appears to me, George, that Vargas has been able to now measure the quickness of Trinidad's hands. He's not getting hit with the kind of clean punches he was. early in the fight.
No, he's ducking and slipping and finding opportunities. This looks a little bit more like what he was able to do against Cuarte.
Well, he's made Trinidad now stop and think for a second. And when you do that, that's what you want a puncher to do, is be on the alert. Try to outbox me rather than outpunch me. And that's what Trinidad is trying to do, outbox the champ now.
No longer does Vargas wobble every time Trinidad hits him upstairs. Fernando has gotten himself back into the fight through 4 rounds.
¿Qué pasa? Con calma, dame dedo. Respira hondo por arriba de la boca. Hondo por arriba de la boca.
Take a deep breath.
Vamos, el ojo está perfecto.
Everything's all right. Your eye's okay. Don't worry about your eye.
Está bien, no tiene que. Dame la boca.
Everything's okay.
Okay. Vamos a pelear.
Tito, we gotta
Con la
fight.
guardia adentro.
And inside his guard,
Está
Tito.
oyendo.
Are you listening to me?
Con la guardia alta.
You
Va a
keep
entrar
your
con
hands
los
up
golpes,
and then make sure you
y la
put
mano
your left hand in front.
¿Cómo estamos?
Keep your hands up.
Todo bien.
Here's the knockdown, Larry.
Here's the left hand that knocked Tito down. And from what I've seen in the corner, they're telling Tito that his eye looks okay, but it doesn't look okay. It looks bloodshot.
He's been there before. That's the most amazing thing about Trinidad. All of this has happened to him before.
Now both of them have had to come back from adversity.
Story of 2 fights so far. First 2 rounds by CompuBox numbers. Trinidad landed 37 punches, to only 19 for Vargas. Last 2 rounds, Vargas lands 47, to only 28 for Trinidad. In round 4, Vargas with a 15-4 edge in power shots. So coming into the 5th round, the younger fighter has, for the moment, taken over the action.
And now Vargas is starting to use his legs a little bit. He hits and then steps to the side.
Ducking and slipping, staying at angles, fighting the way he was supposed to fight.
And he's doing it naturally. These are things you just can't teach a guy when you get hurt. It has to be there, inside.
What a test of Vargas's fortitude in the first round when he was totally stunned by the 2 vicious left hooks that Trinidad put him on the canvas with. What a comeback by Vargas in rounds 3 and 4.
Now Trinidad is spreading his right leg a little far out there. It's not on the mark as much as it was earlier. That's what you want him to do, spread that leg.
Good left hook by Vargas.
What do you mean by on the mark, George?
Well, he stands just like the track run on your mark, you know, on the heel ball of your right foot. He can get off the right hand, but when he spreads it and put it flat, you can get him because he's not ready to punch you back. He's back on the right foot now. It's up again now.
Left hook to the body by Vargas, close to the belt line.
At this time, Trinidad should be establishing his left jab a little bit more. He has the better in the reach. Throw that jab. Don't be afraid to jab.
But he came out with the jab in the first round, and that's what set up the power punching display.
Yeah, and he's starting to abandon his left jab, which he shouldn't have done.
Since then, he's been slugging, and Vargas has been able to adjust.
And Vargas has established his body punching now. Once you establish that you can hit a man with a body punch, you're good.
You know,
now Vargas starts to get his jab going, and double left hook.
And he seems to be in control now of the situation right here in the 5th round.
Vargas seems remarkably calm for somebody who's been through what he's already been through in the fight.
Once again, Trinidad is flat foot on that right foot, and then Vargas should take advantage of it and attack. These are the things that your corner has to look after.
And there's the uppercut that Eduardo Garcia was asking Vargas to throw. Vargas popping his jab whenever Trinidad steps into range, interrupting Trinidad's assault. Trinidad missing with the jab, too far away.
Then Vargas stops. After he backs up a moment, he stops. That throws Trinidad off because he knows then he may get hit.
2 more quick lefts by Vargas. Trinidad still can't find him. Vargas much more effective at range right now. This is a dominant round for young Vargas. A one-sided stanza in favor of the Mexican-American star.
We got him little by little. We got him. You heard him. He's hurt.
How much everybody?
Keep going the same way. Real lively, real smart. You gotta be smart.
you're right. So as long as you step around, he can't set up and hit you. Keep stepping around him. Make him look for you.
Ya le traes la cara marcada.
Tito, si combinamos las manos, agua, no lo llevamos. Agua, agua,
Combination. You gotta throw more than one punch. Give me some water.
Agua en la boca.
Give me some water.
¿Está bien, Tito?
Are you all right, Tito?
Tito, ya instrucciones.
Tito, you gotta listen to instructions.
Métete para adentro. Y métete con el jab.
Go inside, but do it with the
Hazme la pelea
jab.
tuya, ¿está bien?
Do your fight. Make your fight.
Métete para adentro. No te miras tan...
The people who are picking Vargas with some gut feeling because of his toughness and his maturity as a young fighter have seen him be tough and mature both so far.
And now for the first time on our Harold Letterman scorecard, Vargas moves ahead in the fight. This after having been down twice in the first round and having twice been treated to interruptions because of low blows by Trinidad. But the unpenalized foul that may mean something in the fight would be a thumb if Vargas did in fact cause that swelling to Trinidad's right eye with a thumb in the third round.
I don't know if it was a thumb because there are no thumbs on these gloves, Jim, but it was a glove, the edge of the glove, perhaps.
Good point. Thumbless. You can't stick the thumbs out like you used to.
So that means many fewer thumb fouls, but it still
Fewer.
You're
right.
Happen,
you're
right?
You're right. Both of us are right.
And George, I think I said Mexican-American, and I know for sure that's what Fernando would prefer.
No, well, let him say it. We can't do it.
Okay.
He's an American.
He certainly fought on the American Olympic team. Stars and stripes all the way. And he was born and raised in Oxnard, California.
There you are. Trinidad is dangerous every inch of this fight. You just can't stand in front of him and not do anything. He will fight you till the end. And Vargas had better be aware of that. You've never got this fight under control. Trinidad still possesses power, and he has it in the latter rounds.
And he's trying to make the fight. He's still putting the pressure on. He is the aggressor.
Now, Vargas is looking for one shot here, one at a time. And that's the problem. You don't want to get in that kind of slugging match with this fighter like Trinidad. Throw your combination, step to the side.
And Trinidad, almost as though he heard you in the last round, begins to go back to his jab, George, and begins to set up the offense again with the jab, just as he did at the very beginning.
A swelling now outside that right eye.
Vargas is looking to work on that eye, and he should be working on the fight.
Good little left hook inside by Fernando.
You don't want to work on a man's eye. You want to work on the fight.
Vargas tried to hold. Trinidad pulled away and cracked him with the right hand.
And he's done a good job of clinching. Young fighters don't like to clinch, but Vargas is doing it.
It almost looked as if a big right hand by Trinidad hit Vargas in the neck and destabilized him momentarily.
And two more left hooks by Trinidad landed there and backed Vargas into the corner. Trinidad making a comeback now in round 6 after having been thoroughly dominated in 3, 4, and 5. And Vargas, who was moving away early in the round, elects to trade with Trinidad and gets the better of him for the moment. What a round. Woo.
Step back, you have to be smart. One or two. You step back with your head up in the air. All right?
No me pasa del 8, te digo. ¿Está bien?
Tito, he's got more problems than you
¿Cómo
have.
te sientes?
How do you feel, Tito?
Dame el agua.
I'm going.
El jab para adelante.
Don't forget, the jab is first, and then the left hook, and then the uppercut. That's a combination. The hook to the body is your main weapon.
Izquierdo. Camino al lado de ella y cuando le pongas presión, pónsela rápida.
When you put pressure on him, put a lot of pressure on him and throw fast punches. Move to your side where his jab is. You got to put pressure, but quick, fast pressure.
Can you believe we're already halfway through the fight? Round 6, CompuBox numbers: Trinidad 27 out of 52, Vargas 25 out of 59. More fireworks to begin the 7th. Quickly, Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, amazing. 55-55, 3 rounds apiece. Tito Trinidad definitely caught up in round 6.
I have the same score.
Now Vargas got to understand that these latter rounds belong to Trinidad. You got to box him.
Another low blow. And this could be another point deduction for Trinidad. It would be very dispiriting if this great fight were to end on a disqualification. But Trinidad flirts with it now.
The referee asked, are you all right? No way are you all right with that kind of punching power down below the belt. You're not okay.
And another point deduction against Trinidad. So that's 2 points deducted. If form follows, Trinidad is flirting with disqualification.
Yeah, I was wondering if something happened. Jay Nady came over to talk to Trinidad. Trinidad may have said something inflammatory to him because it didn't look at that moment that Nady was going to deduct a point. But he sort of got flushed and angry.
Well, I'm not certain if he can even speak Spanish, Larry, and Trinidad only speaks Spanish.
And there's the punch, which was right along the belt line, but the way Vargas reacted, he certainly felt it was a low blow.
Yeah,
here's another look.
It's tender down there anyway.
Now they're back to fighting in the ring. Vargas is taking shorter and shorter breaks on the 3 interruptions for low blows.
Trinidad is starting to cut off the round, cut off the ring. These are the Trinidad rounds. Vargas had better box out of them for 2 rounds. If he can only just box for a couple of rounds, just box.
You look at the 3 low blows so far, and you remember that David Reed offered this piece of advice to Vargas. He said, Trinidad will do anything to win the fight.
And Vargas, he's got to box, keep his back away from the ropes, and box. If he takes this fight to the center of the ring, he can do it easily, but stay away from the rope. Trinidad has been in these positions before, knows how to pull it out in the last round.
The relentlessness of Felix Trinidad. Coming and coming, firing with both hands. Power shot, power shot, power shot. Try to stay away from me. I'm coming forward. That's Felix Trinidad.
He chops with that right hand as though it's a hammer. Doesn't just throw it out there as a straight right hand. He throws it out there and then chops with it. Trinidad's got the best right hand on the scene now. Vargas better keep boxing and keep something in front of Trinidad. Don't let him just follow you around. Jab him, jab him. He's caught the rhythm of Trinidad now. He's going to expect him to bob and weave and throw something back himself now, Vargas.
Looking for a left hook. Little short with that. Now he lands one.
All night he's been waiting for that rhythm shot, but you just can't take the power that Trinidad has and then wait to get a shot. You got to get off first.
Trinidad reaching just a little with the jab. Vargas steps in, overshoots with a right hand. Trinidad with a left to the body. Those body punches pile up over the course of the fight for Felix.
No. Step out.
This is when you start to respect your opponent.
Water, water.
You got to throw 2 or 3 punches this round, and then the next one, 2 or 3 punches, and put pressure. You got to throw a combination of 2 and 3. You jab first, but you got to throw 3 punches at least. We're going to win with the uppercut and the hook. And when you get in, make sure your hands are up. You always come in with the jab. Always work the jab in the front. Are you okay? Don't let him get a breather. Don't give him a second chance.
Seconds out.
You heard the instructions from Trinidad's corner. Stay on top of him.
In round 7, Trinidad had the CompuBox numerical advantage, but of course he had a point deducted for a low blow. Harold, how do you have it now?
Okay, Jim. 3-3, 1 even, because round 7 becomes an even round when Felix Trinidad won the round but lost the point on a low blow. I got to comment, Jim. I think the fight's being over-officiated. I would hate like heck to see a fight won or lost because of nonsense point deductions. You don't take a guy to a corner, talk to him for 5 minutes, and deduct the point. That's a joke. If you're going to deduct the point, you do it immediately when he throws the low blow, and that's all there is to it.
A Letterman memo to Jay Nady, which I'm sure Nady will be reading in the next few days.
But Trinidad is back on the ball of his right foot again, and Vargas stands right in front of him. Once you see him get that foot planted, you got to get away.
It appears now that Trinidad has moved back into some semblance of flow and control.
And he's getting closer to Fernando, trying to press the issue and make his punching power the big advantage again.
And sometimes you got to be careful telling your fighter to go, keep going, keep pressing the guy, especially a boxer who knows how to punch backward, going backwards.
Which Vargas does.
Vargas knows how to set himself on the move. He has this look of a child on his face, but let me tell you, there's some mean stuff there.
Oh, this is a man's fight. It was promised as a macho battle, and it's been
good left to the body by Vargas. A left hook to the body that made Trinidad stop for a second. He knows it hurt him too.
Excellent.
There it is again.
Vargas was on the belt line with that one. Trinidad comes back with a right on the chin.
That left hook is good for Vargas. If he gets and invests some more in there, he can make things happen. Trinidad trying to take a deep breath because that right side hurt from that left hook.
And there's another one by Vargas, and this time he doubles the left hook upstairs. And Nady steps in and pulls him away just as Vargas was doing damage. There's a warning to Vargas now for low blows.
Well, let me tell you, I didn't see anything low.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a low blow. He sensed, as you said, George, that for the moment Trinidad was hurting the body and he went after it.
He hit him again in the same spot, right above the trunk line there.
Body punching, turning the tide again in favor of Fernando Vargas here in round number 8.
Trinidad is protecting his right side now, I'm telling you.
Folks, that's
low. That was low.
10 seconds left in the round now. They come down the stretch of the round, and Vargas momentarily hurt.
Because he stops and thinks for a second, and whenever he stops, Trinidad takes advantage of it. You lose concentration.
Don't pull the head back.
This is world-class stuff, folks.
The nose is not bleeding. You got to deep breath. That's what you need. One more deep breath. Raise your hand. We're fine. We're going fine. The fight is up, but he's feeling your punches. We are okay now. How do you feel, Tito? Feel fine. You got to throw more than one punch. Make it 2 and bob and weave. You gotta use your intelligence and be swift. You gotta be quick.
Round 8 was one of the most even rounds of the bout. By CompuBox numbers, Vargas 27 of 58, Trinidad 24-47. Trinidad with an 18-14 edge in power shots. It could be a round on which the scorecards could turn because that round could have gone to either guy.
Vargas, whenever he stands still for a moment and look at Trinidad too much, Trinidad picks up that right foot and he comes right down the middle with that right hand.
Big left hook by Vargas as Trinidad leaned in. Fernando thinks he's found something with the body punching. He's trying to set it up again.
His corner told him to bob and weave a little bit. Trinidad is a little tall. He can't bend in the waist as easy as Vargas.
Uppercut attempt by Vargas. Left hook landed on the chest. Trinidad missing with 2 rights. Manages to catch a piece of Vargas with the left.
Trinidad now should reestablish his jab. Get back to the left jab, Trinidad should be the message from the corner. He's got a big jab. When Vargas hit him with a jab, nothing happened. But when Trinidad lands one jab, Vargas' head goes all the way back.
Nady tells Trinidad not to pull Vargas' head down. They've done a wonderful job in Felix Trinidad's corner, keeping that right eye open.
His corner's always done well with the swelling. He hasn't blown his nose like he did in the De La Hoya fight. Vargas is getting really brave now, throwing uppercuts. You want to make sure you throw uppercut, you're in the middle of the ring.
A right hand from distance momentarily wobbles Vargas. Another combination by Trinidad. Vargas grabs and holds. Another big right hand by Trinidad. Vargas in trouble. He stands and fires with the left. Championship rounds traditionally have belonged to Felix Trinidad. He's hammering Vargas here.
Oh, that left hook to the body by Trinidad.
Another left to the body by Vargas. And that backs Trinidad up momentarily.
That's what you want, Trinidad. You want to back him away. Make him back up. Make him back up.
And another left to the body by Vargas. He stops Trinidad's momentum by raking Trinidad to the ribs.
Right here, it's toughness of Vargas against the skill and punching power.
He want to mix it up, Vargas does.
Trinidad.
He's smiling. He's like, I'm going to keep it up.
This is the strength of both fighters going at each other.
This was Vargas' promise. I'm not going to back away. I'm not the kind of fighter who'll run. I'll stand with him. I'll trade with him. I'll stay with him all the way. That's what Vargas does as he comes down the stretch in round 9.
Boy, it's getting rough for Vargas.
They're on their feet, standing and applauding both fighters.
When you step in, you heard it. When you step back and bend over, he fires the right. Do not move to the right. Do not bend over to the right.
Don King is having a conversation with the commissioners at this point. Now that shouldn't be a promoter talking to the commissioner.
Let's put some grease on him. Tito.
Don't
get out of control. When you hurt him, don't lose control. Take it easy.
Vargas took some heavy shots there, and he spent a lot of himself, I felt, in recovering. The question now is, how much does he have left going into these last 3 rounds?
How good was the 9th round? They both landed 32 punches by CompuBox estimation, and 54 of the total 64 were power shots. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim. 5-3, 1 even, 84-82. Tito Trinidad. Jim, I got to tell you, most referees will disqualify you after they take away 3 points. I don't think Nady will do it in this fight. But in any case, Tito Trinidad, in my eyes, ran rounds 8 and 9 in a toe-to-toe action. I thought he outpunched him. He won on clean punches, and that gave him a 2-point lead. I think he's ahead 2 points with 3 rounds to go.
Harold, both rounds were very close.
I have it even. I gave the last round to Vargas.
I think Harold has done a good job this time. It's hard to take your emotion out and score a fight like this. He's done a good job. Vargas is not staying on the right side of Trinidad. Trinidad's eyes about swollen shut. You want to stay over there. He's got to protect it. Stay over there. Don't lean back to his left hook at all.
Well, Fernando Vargas' left eye is beginning to swell dramatically, too, as the result of the right-hand punishment he took in the last round. So now it's Trinidad's right eye that's swelling. Vargas' left eye. And they stand and trade again. Trinidad with bigger power when they go face to face.
Trinidad has been in this position in the latter rounds before. He's a long way from home. He's got to go for the knockout.
You think Trinidad has to go for the knockout?
He has to go for the knockout. When you're this far away from home, you just can't take any chances that you're going to win this thing on point.
Yeah, but just remember, George, he got that close, controversial decision over Oscar De La Hoya right here.
When some people thought that De La Hoya couldn't conceivably lose a decision in Vegas.
Oh, to the body goes Trinidad with left hooks.
Right now, Trinidad appears to be the stronger of the two.
And he's not backing up, throwing hard shots.
One of the judges for this fight, Glenn Hamada, was also a judge for Trinidad De La Hoya, and he had that fight 114-114. You're looking at another extremely close fight tonight. And a one-point deduction for Vargas. And the Trinidad fans go wild. Remember, there have already been 2-point deductions against Trinidad.
I think that was a make-up call by Nady. That should not have been counted as a foul or a serious foul.
I said earlier, I saw Don King leaning over, talking with the commissioners, doing a boxing match, a promoter. That's not a good thing to do.
Do you want to guess that Don was saying Vargas is throwing low punches too?
He probably was, and then you caution your referee, if you're a good commission, to be equal here. And that's not a bad for Don King, but it's bad to, it doesn't look good.
Flip Pomansky ultimately grabbed King and tried to lead him away from Glenn Carano and Dr. Elias Ghanem when King was leaning over Carano and Ghanem to try to make his point. Mark Ratner, the executive director of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, was 2 seats away. Meanwhile, they're still busting each other face to face in the ring as round 10 comes to a close, and the crowd is on its feet again.
Okay, deep in breath, deep breath, deep breath. He's dead. He's dead. With the jab, you got him. He's got it. He's yours. He's got his mouth open and he's tired. Don't let him get away now.
Con inteligencia, Fernando.
You got to use your intelligence, Fernando. And you got to put the pressure, but you got to put fast, quick. Don't stand right in front of him.
Haga cintura rápida.
Here's a look at the low blow call, Larry.
Yeah, it was low. It was a little low on the border, but nothing that it just really grazed him. Didn't look. I don't think it would have been called if he hadn't previously penalized Trinidad.
Well, and also Vargas had some other low blows in the preceding round.
Be that as it may be that right now Vargas either has to win the last 2 rounds or score a knockdown or a knockout to win the fight.
Yeah, I think Vargas is the one who needs the knockout because that was a big round for Trinidad numerically, and he got the point deduction. So in all likelihood, Trinidad should be ahead on the scorecards now. That's my take.
Vargas is doing a good job, but he's just got to stay out of the exchanges. If he just uses quickness, jab, hook, stay out of the way, beat Felix to the punches, but don't get into the exchanges. He is not the most powerful. It's been evident tonight.
Now, Trinidad has definitely had the edge in power.
Well, then how's he going to win the fight, George?
Well, you just hit him, move out of the way. Hit him, move out of the way.
And win the last 2 rounds and hope that's good enough?
That's right. Win the round. But you can do it, hit him, but don't get into the exchanges. He throws his left hook, you're out of there. You see how he hits him with a jab, gets out of the way? Now get out of the way, and he should be doing now, which he did.
This has been another showcase for the relentlessness of Felix Trinidad. Sure, he doesn't do a lot of different things in there, but the one thing he does with passion, commitment, pride, and absolute determination all the time. Try to match my will. That's what Felix Trinidad says to his opponents, and he's been saying it to Vargas down the stretch of this fight.
He knows how to go forward, and he uses it. He's aggressive. Some fellas, they only do it when they have to go forward, but this Trinidad is a go-forward puncher.
He takes your heart, George. He takes your heart.
He hasn't taken Vargas' heart yet, but
that would be hard to do. Vargas has a ton of heart.
Just remember, guys, this fight was almost over in the first minute, and here we are with a minute to go in the 11th round.
That's all you need to know about Vargas' heart. In case you missed the beginning, Vargas was down twice in the first minute and a half of the bout, but survived.
Down the exchanges, Felix Trinidad is going to get the best of the exchanges. Vargas has got to stay away from trying to mix it up. Do what you're going to do first and get out of the way. Now get out of the way, he should be doing now.
Good left hook inside by Vargas. Vargas with a momentary flash of offense, but Trinidad freezes him with a hard right hand to the jaw. Straight punches by Trinidad right up the middle. They get there quick.
There you go, Vargas. He's beating him to the punch and he's rattling him. He's got his heart. He's got his power. Don't get into the exchanges.
What a battle. And again, they're on their feet.
One more round.
Give me a towel.
Listen to me. He's going to come very hard this round. You have to use a hard, stiff jab.
One more round, Tito. You're going to give him a beating in this round. Deep breathe, deep breathing. Take a deep breath.
El último round, Tito. Último round. We gotta get that water.
This is when you breathe.
Pon vaselina.
Let's put some Vaseline on him. We need a round.
Es el último.
The last round.
Pero quiero que esté bien y que esté consciente de lo que está haciendo.
You're fine. We're conscious of what we're doing. Are you conscious? Yes. Give me some water.
Fernando Vargas has bitten off more than he can chew, in the opinion of many, but he has chewed it, and he has to chew it again in this last round to pull it out.
But Felix Trinidad has been outlanding Vargas down the stretch and with bigger firepower most of the time. Harold Letterman, how do you have it go into the final round?
Okay, Jim, I absolutely agree with you on that power towards the end of the fight. 6-4, 1 even, 103, 100. Felix Tito Trinidad. Jim, there's no question, out of the last 4 rounds, Tito Trinidad has released 3.
Down goes Vargas on a big left hook. And up he gets in 2 seconds. And now it's abundantly clear. Fernando Vargas must score a knockout or he's lost this fight. Down goes Fernando again.
3, 4, 5, he's seriously hurt.
6,
He doesn't have his wits about him.
8, you sure?
He is reacting simply from instinct and courage.
He's out of it. He can't see Trinidad.
He's about to get knocked out. Barring a miracle here, it's going to be a closing knockout for Tito. Fernando trying to survive. Fires a couple of punches. And holds on like a skilled veteran.
He's a veteran.
And that'll do it. The third right hand, the third knockdown of the round. A huge victory for Tito Trinidad.
He closes the show like the champion he is. What a fight.
What a fight.
Give the people what they want.
Did they get their money's worth tonight, George?
He gave it to them. And also did Vargas. He also did as much.
What a champion. What a performance by Trinidad. Start to finish. Braveheart. Braveheart all the way.
Never thought that Trinidad could do what he did tonight. No way. He beat a superior boxer. Left jab and power punches, getting up off the canvas, being in trouble, recuperating. I didn't think he had it.
He underlined his trademark, George. Two-fisted power, relentless determination.
I never thought he could do it. And he had to back up a few times, and he was still effective.
Let's take a look at the 3 knockdowns in the 12th round with which Trinidad finished Vargas and finished the fight. Knockdown number 1. Another brilliant left hook. Typical of so many that Trinidad had landed throughout the fight. Typical of the left hooks with which he began all this in creating 2 knockdowns back in round number 1. A third look at another perfect left-hand shot on the button by Felix Trinidad. And then seconds later, the second knockdown, and the one that made it clear that Vargas would need a near miracle just to finish the fight. Another clean shot with the left hook for Trinidad. And then finally, the third knockdown, almost an anticlimax at that point, as a wobbly Vargas simply could not muster the skill and the will to stay afoot against Trinidad's assault. And a merciful Jay Nady not bothering to count, but rather stepping in to end the onslaught and spare the brilliant young talent any further punishment at the hands of the devastating Trinidad. 39th win of Felix Trinidad's career. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official details of the TKO.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 1 minute 33 seconds in round number 12. He's the winner by way of knockout. He is still undefeated. And now the WBA and IBF 154-pound world champion, Felix Tito Trinidad.
Final CompuBox numbers. It was Trinidad who came roaring down the stretch to overtake Vargas in total punches landed, and he landed at a brilliant 50% connect rate throughout the fight. Power punches, the heart of the story, as it usually is when Trinidad fights. Left hand and right hand power, 43 more power punches landed, dominance in this category that ultimately led to the knockout victory. And let's go to Larry Merchant with the brilliant Tito Trinidad.
Tito, congratulations. Was that the great fight you anticipated?
¿Esa fue la gran pelea que tú esperabas?
Eso así, yo se lo había dicho, era una gran pelea, pero como se lo había dicho, yo iba a ganar y así gané.
Yeah, it was a great fight I expected. I told everybody it's going to be a great fight, but I knew I was going to win.
Is that the toughest fight you've ever been in?
¿Esa es la pelea más difícil que tú has tenido?
Bueno, ha sido una pelea bien fuerte. Vargas es un gran peleador, un peleador fuerte, pero yo siempre vengo bien preparado y se lo demostré.
Yeah, it was the toughest fight, and it was a tough fight. But Vargas is a good fighter, but I came well prepared.
You knock him down 2 times very quickly in the first round. Did you think the fight was over then?
Lo tumbaste 2 veces en el primer round. ¿Creíste tú que ya se había terminado la pelea?
Pensaba que sí, pensaba que la pelea iba a durar poco, pero él trajo una buena condición y me pudo durar los 2 hasta.
I thought the fight was going to be over quick, but you got to give credit to his stamina, his conditioning. That's why he lasted.
So you were surprised that he was able to find a way to survive that first round.
Entonces te sorprendió que él buscó la manera de sobrevivir este primer round.
Sí, bueno, él vino con una gran condición y sobrevivió hasta el round 12, pero puse mi mano fuerte nuevamente y no quemé.
Yeah, it surprised me, but he came with good conditioning, and I knew that with my good conditioning, even if it would take 12, I would win.
He started to get into the fight in the 3rd and 4th round. He knocked you down. How badly were you hurt?
Vargas comenzó a entrar en la pelea en el 3er y 4th round, te tumbó, estaba herido, estaba golpeado.
Bueno, me dio un gran gancho de izquierda, me derribó, pero yo estaba en una gran condición y gracias a Dios pude acabar la pelea por nocaut en el round 12.
He hit me with a good left hook, and he hurt me a little bit with my condition, and I withstood it.
You were penalized several times for low blows. Do you think the referee was right to do that?
Te multaron 2 o 3 puntos por los golpes bajos. ¿Tú crees que el referee tenía razón a hacer eso?
El último golpe que le di, para mí, posiblemente los primeros 2, pero el último golpe no. Me quitaron un punto injustamente.
And maybe the first 2 times that I hit him low was all right, but the 3rd time, I thought it was unjust to lose a point then.
Did your eye bother you through the fight? Was it ever a serious problem?
¿Tu ojo te molestó durante la pelea y fue algún problema que te causó eso?
No, me molestó un poco, sí, en el round. Al principio del primer round sentí que me dio con el ojo, con el dedo pulgar dentro del ojo y se me borró la vista un poco, pero yo soy un gran peleador.
It bothered me a while, and I got hit in the, I thought it was a thumb, but I knew I would win, and I'm a great champion.
Going into the 12th round, did you feel you needed a knockout to win, or was it just there because he was coming to try to knock you out?
para el final del 12 round. ¿Sentiste tú alguna vez que necesitabas un knockout o era que el knockout vino?
No, yo iba a ganar como quiera por la edición, pero gracias a Dios y que siempre está conmigo, pude colocar un buen golpe.
I don't think I needed a knockout in the 12th round. I was winning the fight all the way, and thank God it came.
Do you think that there will come a time when you will fight him again?
¿Tú crees que va a haber algún tiempo que tú le pelearías a traer una revancha?
Bueno, todo es posible. Comenzaremos con Don King y vamos a ver qué puede pasar.
Everything is possible. We'll talk to Don King and see what happens.
Thank you very much, Tito.
Having maintained his trademark composure in the ring immediately following the fight, Felix Trinidad was, unexpectedly to most, considerably more emotional in his post-fight news conference.
Mi padre.
To my father.
De verdad que
Please excuse the champion. He wants to go to the hotel now.
In the immediate aftermath of the fight, Fernando Vargas was not available to be interviewed in the ring. He was taken immediately to a nearby hospital for precautionary examination. But a few days later, our Larry Merchant caught up with Vargas in Southern California.
Fernando, what were your impressions of the fight looking back?
Taking nothing away from Felix Trinidad, I think he's a great champion, a great fighter. His experience, I think the experience that he was talking about was trying to be a little dirty. You know, I heard him in the 4th round, and when I knocked him down, and when he got up, the first thing he did was, hit me in the balls. You know what I'm saying? And 2 other times, he hit me again, and what can I say? I take nothing away from him. He was a better man that day.
You had an aura of invincibility about you. You felt that very deep inside you. Is this a shock to you, having come out of a fight that way?
It's a shock to me because it's not something that I wanted to come out, like this, but, it's not the way I expected it, and I don't think if, we would have been playing fair, I would have came out like this. But, I give him all the credit in the world. He was a better man.
Are you afraid that this is going to be perceived as an alibi?
No, people can say what they want to say, I'm giving him all the respect in the world. I'm saying that he was a better man that night. He beat me. Mm-hmm. I'm not making complaints or anything, but I'm saying.
Just to go back, when you knocked him down in that 4th round, did you feel, okay, now I'm there, now I'm getting him, and now I'm going to get him out?
When I try to come with something, I got hit in the balls. Definitely. He just he had a great game plan, he got me out of my game plan.
What impressed you about him as a fighter, being in there with him?
I think he's, even though, he gets hurt, he can come back. I think that's impressed me.
He's tougher than people think.
I think he's tough. I always thought he was tough, so, that didn't surprise me about him being tough, but, him being hurt and him being able to use his head and knowing, I guess, tricks and I guess, an experience of the game.
So was it premature to take that fight, as many people claimed, or are you glad you've had the experience, even if it was a hard one?
I'm glad I had the experience, and I just want to show the world that, I'd love the rematch, and hopefully he wants it.
So even though the people around you, main events and so forth, feels that you ought to come back on a slower path, you want the rematch immediately?
I want it badly. I just feel that if things didn't happen the way they did, I just feel that I would have been able to be a lot fresher, a lot quicker. I take nothing away from him. He did what he had to do to win, and he was a better man that night. And, I think he's a great fighter.
So are you going to campaign among your people and tell them you want it right back?
I want a rematch, absolutely. And that's how I feel. Hopefully we can do it. I don't know how he feels about it.
if you got up from those knockdowns in the first round, that you'll get up from this in your career.
Absolutely. I think that, you know, I'm a warrior. I feel that I'm a fighter in life and in the ring. You know, when I step into the ring, I give everything I have, and when in life, I give everything I have. So, you know, this isn't gonna get me down. I'm looking forward to showing the world that Fernando Vargas can come back from this, from adversity. You know, I'm not a fighter that's gonna just sit down and cry over this. No, I'm gonna go out there and take care of business and go out there and regain my championship.
Having celebrated only his 23rd birthday a few days after the fight, Fernando Vargas can still be expected to have a glorious future in boxing. He's already talking enthusiastically about his next assignment in the ring. So all in all, boxing enjoys its best big moment in quite a while. A fireworks fight, which surely elevated the reputation of Felix Trinidad, and perhaps for the general public, that of Fernando Vargas as well. And in a sport whose big pay-per-view moments have not always served it well in recent years, this was a fight for boxing fans to hold on to and remember.